got uglier.
What happened?
I'm getting beaten down by life.
Yeah, you are.
You are. You are.
That's
why you need the Way Smarter Smart Ring.
That's right. It's for someone else to yell at you.
Dr. Steve, please tell me more.
If you don't.
All right. So we got the Way Smarter Smart Ring from Dr. Pete Martoni, Dr. Sleep Right.
There we go.
And I'm going to send
Is
you
this
the
mine?
link.
Did you get yours already?
He got his, but he doesn't know how to use it.
I didn't do anything until you guys
He was
gave
waiting
me-
for us to...
You guys gave me the one that was.
Oh, that's right. Where's
Right.
yours at?
I'm wearing it.
Oh.
I thought we were all waiting, so
All
I was
right.
being polite.
So
Bring it with you?
It's in my other car.
I'm forwarding this link. So this comes with a link that gets you on a sleeping process. So what I like about what Dr. Pete did was it's not about just wearing a ring and looking at numbers. He gives you a whole strategy. He gives you like a protocol to go through that addresses your sleep, and you can measure the impact of that on your ring, which is pretty awesome. So let me get
It's
this.
way smarter.
Way smarter.
Way smarter.
Hold on. Because I think all of these rings are pretty much the same.
For real.
They all use the same algorithms for looking at heart rate variability and all the things that they measure, and it's cool to track all that stuff. But I got tired of fucking. Excuse me, Chris.
And we're back.
Jeez, that didn't take long.
What do we got?
I got
2 minutes, 22 seconds. World new record we got.
I got tired of losing my Oura ring and breaking my Oura ring and spending another $300-400 on a new Oura. I've gone through 3 of those things. It's over $1,000.
You're irresponsible.
I don't think I paid that much for my wedding ring. And,
Probably not.
so this does all the same thing, all the same things. The app is almost identical, which is really cool. And
Look at my Tony.
it's,
Putting it together, bud.
under $100.
That's the app.
This is the app.
That's the same exact app.
It looks like the same exact thing.
It
Right?
is exactly
I
that.
wouldn't know.
You don't have a. You never had an Oura ring.
I never had
Body
any of that
temperature, heart rate variability, blood oxygen,
It's the identical app.
stress. It's
Are you allowed to
pretty
do that?
much identical.
Well, I mean, probably.
Obviously.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's taking their stuff. I'm saying his is so much better, and it's identical.
There
and
you
it's,
go.
And it's
That's what
under
I'm saying.
$100.
That's what you were saying.
That's what I'm saying. And it does real time. It's much more accurate. It comes with a sleep program. It's not just a ring with a bunch of bullshit. And it looks almost exactly the same. This is like tons better option for sure.
Yeah.
No question.
Well
Price-
done, Mazzoni. Price
price
point
point,
is
sick.
unbelievable. And plus, he's
What it
getting.
does is sick.
Yeah.
And we know him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
So if
I'm
it sucks, we can
definitely so Dr. Sleep Right, the Way Smarter Smart Ring. Check it out. It's an endorsement. We don't get
way smarter.
We're not getting any.
Way
We're not getting any
stands
commission
for
on
something. What
this.
does way stand for? I mean,
Oh, I don't know.
it's in red. It's got some periods in between. It's got to mean something, Martoni. What does it mean?
Let's see.
What does it all mean, Basil?
What an idiot. It's got to be on the box.
It's not on the
This
box.
shitty ass box.
Martoni.
Hey,
Box
hey!
sucks.
We don't need more expensive box.
Yeah,
we
right,
don't need a
right.
more
This box
expensive box.
sucks.
Well, because you're not going to explain it, just throw it in a plastic bag. It's got to be a little bit cheaper.
So it's not just a
right.
ring, it's your path to transformation. This innovative course will guide you through a step-by-step consciously
imagine what they would stand
retrain your subconscious, turning daily habits into powerful sleep-enhancing rituals.
We're gonna have to
discover
ask
exactly how to
ChatGPT.
interpret your sleep data. So it's not just a bunch of numbers that you're being given for $1,000 from Oura. Not 1,000, but you know what I mean. By the time you lose a few and break a few, it's over $1,000. This is going to provide you with a whole bunch of action steps to take.
I like it.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Beautiful.
Good job.
Beautiful.
It's a good thing.
This segment has been sponsored by the Way Smarter Ring. Thank you, Martoni, our first sponsor. We appreciate it, buddy.
Yeah. Right.
You owe us a drink. For every box we sell, you owe us a cocktail at the
That's
next
right.
event.
That's right.
Because
Chris's
we all
mom.
know what alcohol does to sleep.
right. Ruins it.
Chris's mom. Well, I mean, we're not even going live anymore.
She
So.
hates us. She's mad at you guys because of this.
Because
Oh,
we didn't
really?
go live,
She
or because
wants to go live.
he's going to fight you guys.
I think. Listen, I'm a little uncomfortable too. This was Torres's recommendation.
Let's see what the numbers show. Let's give it a shot.
Well, okay, so that's the other thing. Has he posted three Docs Coffee?
Well, dude, when was the last time we did this?
But none of ours are posted.
I don't know. I'm not paying attention to
I pay attention because it's on the same Google sheet as.
So what
local biz.
What are you paying attention to?
Uh-oh.
There's nothing going up onto Three Docs. But you're right. We haven't hung out.
2 weeks.
We haven't hung out, man.
Dude, it's been 3 weeks.
I don't even know who you are anymore.
I think
We hung out in Miami.
we did.
You
Yeah.
missed that.
So I missed Miami.
Yeah.
You guys went to Formula
You
1.
had some whatever, like nothing thing that you had to do or whatever.
Yeah.
So you know,
My boy graduated.
congratulations, buddy.
Yeah. No, he's.
Mine fake graduated.
He
I don't even know what the hell's happening. I went to a graduation. There was a graduation party.
Right.
And I'm going to college today.
Yes,
So I don't know.
he's got one more year.
Yeah, so he wants to try to play some.
Is he? Are you? Wait, were you going to San Diego today?
No. Are going to. We were going to West Virginia, but now we're going to Philly. There's a school in Philly that wants him, so
Oh,
they
right.
wanted to get him down there quickly before
He got swallowed up.
he makes a move somewhere. Else. The guy
See some place that's about 75 degrees.
Well, we
without
got
a cloud in the
20
sky.
we got 23
Always.
subscribers.
Oh, really?
We got 23
it's Pete
subscribers.
and all of his aliases.
So when is that from? 1 month ago. That's a month ago.
So
And we
month
have.
ago.
There's other.
Other
was-
podcasts are asking me to come on, so if this doesn't work out,
You're getting very popular,
Dude, it's gonna
I mean,
work
I've been
out.
hearing your name everywhere around town. Let me tell you.
you see me on Facebook
Oh yeah, buddy.
everywhere.
You do.
He's on
you
the
like playing with the
Facebook.
lights. I see that.
I'm about to take over more.
Are you Facebook famous?
Facebook famous.
Wait, you're
I'm
taking
about
over
to
more?
Become TikTok famous.
Oh, he is going into
Dude,
the
And
guy,
decompression
multimodal.
the guy, I saw him in his office. You know, a bunch of young 18-year-olds in his office are doing these cool tricks where they're jumping up from their knees onto their feet, like like cats. Doing that challenge. And Chris is like, my knees. I'm all
Oh, you freaking old
dude,
man. He
then
did
he
it.
gets down on his knees.
Nailed
and
it.
he, and he nailed it.
Come on.
He nailed
I'm so
it.
proud of you,
Nailed it.
man.
Fuck
Why,
these-
why do you
fuck
let
these
them
kids.
call you old?
Because I like
I don't
to
know
show
why
them
you
up.
let them do that. You know?
fun.
Look, I understand why they let them call you ugly, but like, old is messed up.
It is,
Yeah.
but that's just what they make them feel better.
And you're okay with that. You're building their confidence.
All right, so come on, give me an update. What was Formula One like, and what was the experience like as far as you getting together with a bunch of great doctors?
All right. You go ahead.
Me first.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, it was great.
Hit me in the back.
You can
Sweaty
never-
balls.
I don't
Sweaty,
think
sweaty.
you could ever go wrong going to Miami and watching Formula One. Would I go again to watch Formula One only? Maybe not. But would I go with a group of guys to do it again? Probably. But
Yeah.
I wouldn't say, hey, I'm going to go to Formula One. It was a lot of, standing and then, and then standing and then, right? So it was like, all right. But the experience was wonderful. It was incredible. And it was mind-blowing. But I think, the one day was perfect. I could not have gone for a second day.
And that's why when people go, they get tense and they get like
Yeah,
all-
you
Right,
can
right,
make
right.
it-
That would be a
you
whole
make it a
different
whole
experience.
social
Making it
experience.
Social experience and more of like an event type
Right,
thing. I
right.
think. But I had a great time.
So kind of like Indy 500, kind of like the horse racing stuff.
Well, I would think I've never been to an IndyCar race, but
They just go in circles, so you
yeah,
can-
they go in circles like what, 300, 400, or 500
I
times.
did go to the
I don't know
Indy
how
500. I did go to the Indy 500 many years ago. It was spectacular. I don't need to go again for the
Right.
rest of my life. I checked that box.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
need to do
yeah.
it. But I got a buddy of mine who's gone to every one for the last 30 years.
Right.
He never misses it, but he lives there.
Right.
The F1, it's not just in a circle. It's not 500 times. I think, what is there, 57 laps? We didn't even go to the Sunday, 56. We didn't even go to the Sunday thing. The qualifier and all that kind of stuff was cool enough. But I could see if you get the tent or you get like cabanas or whatever it is, the paddocks, you got to do it for the weekend because it just didn't make any sense for one day to get one of those types of things. But man, it is cool. Plus, I went with an 11-year-old and a 9-year-old
Yeah.
and my 10-year-old
That
niece
was
and
a
nephew.
great video you posted.
And
the car just screams by.
they go really fast. fast.
And they're really loud.
And you smell the
brakes.
You smell the brakes and the burnt rubber. So they're liquid tires. Is that what somebody was telling me? I don't know what that means, but they're telling me it's liquid tires, so they're just constantly like kind of melting onto the track. But the cool thing was on Saturday, it was like. We took the shuttle there to get there. It was freaking pouring out of nowhere, just Florida, right? Pouring. So the track was sopping wet. And the second we got there, they're going to start the qualifiers, right? And they came down, and we saw them. And there's this splash coming up off the back of the cars. It goes up like 15 feet. It's crazy. So they had to stop it because that spray was making it not safe and everything like that. So then for 45 minutes, they were coming out there with blowers on the track and everything like that. That's when we hit the Hendricks tent and the F1 stuff. Let me tell you. If I have to say something, right? So it starts to rain. So we get off of our got to go over the track in this little stairwell down, whatever it is, and then you get over there, and the Hendricks is right where we were. So they had this pop-up thing, man. It was just the drinks were phenomenal. So he wouldn't know, but
I would know.
They were awesome. So we hit that, and then it starts to rain. So right next to that was one of the F1 stores.
Right.
So everybody kind of like with their drinks went into the F1 store, started shopping. So of course I've got my kids. What are we gonna do? Let me buy a baseball hat. Baseball hat. It's blue, red, has the number 1 here, maybe McLaren over here.
Yeah.
How much does that cost?
Oh, it's going to be at least $75.
You would say maybe $75 would be acceptable. $130 freaking dollars. $130. I bought 3 hats. I was out $400 for 3 baseball hats.
I said no.
3 baseball hats. But then we go back.
It's the wealthiest
It's
sport in the world.
unbelievable. Then we go right back out to the Hendricks thing. We get a double drink like this big of freaking Hendricks, $16. I'm like, well, that was worth it. We got pretty smashed on Hendricks, that's for sure. But anyway, so they stopped it. We started shopping and everything like that. Then we're walking back. Probably about 45 minutes later, they started doing the qualifying again, or like the test route and everything like that. So it's still a little bit wet. The spray goes up within 2 laps. 2 laps. What does it take? Like a minute 30 or whatever. 2 laps. Bone dry.
Yeah.
Bone dry. The heat.
Unbelievable.
The thing. It was
Heat
bone
up-
dry. It was
heat up the tires.
unfreaking believable.
140 degrees off of the road.
Yeah.
From them.
It was crazy. Yeah, and then in the straightaways are going about 340 kilometers an hour. It was at 212 or something like miles an hour, and it is unbelievable. And you said the noise and just watching the kids being like, "Wow!" I was a kid. I was like, "Wow!"
Great. Going into the corners without braking.
Yeah. What's wrong with these people?
220 miles an hour into a hairpin corner. The good ones didn't brake.
Yeah.
The guys in the back, you could see their taillights come on, but the pros, like the McLaren
Well,
guys,
they brake at the end. They
no
stand on
break.
the brakes
They're
to
bang,
turn.
bang, 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 bang,
They
bang.
just-
Oh, it's all down. They're all
Bang,
downshift.
bang, you could hear bang, 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 shoom, and then the guys behind would come in hard, and you'd see their taillights go on and bang,
'Cause they're
bang,
trying
bang,
to-
bang, bang, and
yeah.
then come around. But the pros, they hit the corners. There was no brake lights anywhere. Just bang, 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 and then back up. It was crazy. We were we stood on a spot that was the longest stretch. They were coming in 225 and
Yeah.
they weren't touching the brakes.
No way.
They weren't touching. There was a thing
The
that
G-forces just must be out of control.
measured how close they'd get to the wall, and in that corner there was the McLaren guy on average was 5 centimeters from the wall into the turn. He would
snapping
hit
it.
it 5 centimeters and then wrap around that turn. He from that close to hitting the wall almost every single time.
Ridiculous.
It was crazy.
Ridiculous.
The
And then-
average was 8 to 10 centimeters. He was like 4 or 5.
So Nate Blume and Stacy in Indianapolis. Nate's been working. He's a big IndyCar fan, and he takes care of a lot of the drivers in his office. Life Refined Chiropractic, and a couple of them have stated how being under care has dramatically improved their endurance to train and to perform while racing, just because
That's what we got to get into, dude. Let's get into F1 racers. This guy's Indy racers. Come on, that's nothing.
Right.
Are you kidding me? How much does an IndyCar hat weigh? What is that, $54, man? $130 hat. You know what you're dealing with here. So, what are you trying to get at there?
I'm trying to clear that image of
Here,
Chris's cranium.
Cranium. There it
No,
is.
no, you don't have to change it.
I just want to make sure you can see what's
it.
going on over there. Yeah. What I'm trying to do is get you out of my way.
You're right.
Kind of like this guy, famous over there. So,
All right.
yeah, F1 was great.
Yeah, it was fun.
People were great. We finally got to meet and hang with Niles and Kate.
Nice.
And
Kate-
that was
Caitlin is
awesome.
great. Niles is great.
They were fantastic. Alan, Franson, we all hung. They hung with the kids. That was really cool, man. I really enjoyed those guys at that point. Met them finally. Really got to sit and talk.
That's what those events are very cool because they're small.
Water park.
The water park did everything.
You did a bunch of kid stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We rode all the slides.
Were you there when I finally did the drop one?
No,
I
probably,
did it. All I was thinking about.
That's how I got hurt.
I was scolded on tight, man. Let me tell you.
Yeah,
So we did it all, man. It was very fun. Yeah. Now I'm off. Going back to see them right now. As soon as we're done.
Last week I went with health missions to Colombia, South America.
I think we need to cut the segment right now.
No.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody wants to know.
Yeah, everybody wants to know. Everybody wants to know.
Everybody.
All right, tell us about
This is-
Colombia.
Well, this is something, I ran a little recon for us, right?
All right.
And the recon was going on a health mission trip. I've done it before, but it's been at least 15, 16 years since I've done it. And, there's a lot left to be desired as far as organization goes. Like the mission is the same. You go there and you serve people who have never even seen a doctor before, like any kind of doctor. And then, and of course, the word chiropractic is just completely foreign. And the way they did it was they handed over health missions to Baron Hoag's organization, the Chiropractic Defense Council. So the Chiropractic Defense Council, of course, is kind of a political legal arm of our profession that goes worldwide and addresses issues related to regulation and law and
persecution.
persecution of doctors, doing what we do. But health missions now allows them to go to do a mission trip in a country that doesn't have any access or regulatory structure for our profession. And now we go there, we impress people, we meet people, we talk to people, we make contacts, hand those contacts over to Baron Hoag at CDC to then follow up and hopefully increase the awareness of our profession and actually start a regulatory framework that would allow us as a profession to spread worldwide, right? So it's
I like
just
that.
the mission itself is awesome. And then we go and you go with, again, it was a bunch of guys from our organization, UAC, that we know and love. Dr. Sebastian Bonin from Puerto Rico was incredible. Obviously, it helped to have the
Speaks
language.
a little bit of Spanish, huh?
He speaks a little Spanish.
Speaks a little Spanish.
It helps that he's this incredibly charismatic, striking,
Engaging,
handsome kid. I call him a kid. He's 47 years old. He looks like he's 25.
Yeah, he does.
But he's a great doctor, and just his ability to communicate with people was off the charts. And then Joe Esposito from Align Life and Asiva Nutrition, and Dr. Christian, I don't even know his last name, from the UK. He was awesome. Myself, and then we had Olga, and Olga is Joe Esposito's now fiance.
Congratulations!
Yeah, we were all there for the engagement. And her best friend, Irina, who works for Oracle in San Francisco, who's also from Romania, and they were just absolutely incredible at being our support team. They organized it so we had not only a tour guide, but the tour guide who organized the places where we were going to go and serve. Our accommodations were out of control. They were absolutely beautiful boutique places you would never go yourself, and they were, at 55 years old, I kind of want to be comfortable all the time.
Me too.
That's your third.
And I want great food, and so they organized the places where we went to serve. But then they were smart. They knew we would work our asses off for like 4 or 5 hours straight, but then we would go and do something cool. So we went hiking in the jungles. We went to this waterfall. And we went to visit a regenerative farm, a coffee plantation. Oh, it was unbelievable.
Wow! Look at his eyes.
It was incredible. But we got to we get there. First of all, it's gorgeous. Like, Colombia is the third largest producer of coffee in the world, and what's cool about Colombia is that it's all mountains, so you can't really have machines go down rows of coffee plants and pick the beans like you could do in Vietnam and these other places. you need people to go with their hands and pick. And so family farms, people who just, the analogy I use is kind of like the guy from the Omnivore's Dilemma, the book Omnivore's Dilemma, the regenerative farmer in Virginia. I can't remember his name, but he's really revolutionized how we grow food, to not use pesticides, to not use, to make it not only fully organic, but to make it enriching, to bring the soil to life and to have it grow and all that stuff. Just incredible. And they gave us a lecture and a tour. We learned about how they pick beans. So every coffee manufacturer or grower in Colombia used to pay their pickers by the kilo. So you pick this many beans today, here's what you get paid. They don't want to do that because they only want the best beans picked. So they showed us how they actually pick the beans. So they pay them a salary, but your ability to keep your job is based on not how much you pick, but how the quality of the beans you pick. And then they take the beans and they bring it to this place.
These are the three best beans.
I got the best beans out there.
I got 3.
Mm-hmm. So they bring us through the entire process, the washing, the drying, the toasting, the roasting, all the cool stuff that they do, and it's just
figure this
incredible.
out, by the way?
Years
how
and
do you
years and
figure?
years.
Yeah, 1,000 years ago, when this is a coffee plant, and you got the bean here, and that you can't have. That you can't do anything with. It's like chocolate.
Right. It's
But
like
let's do
it's literally
20
a fruit.
Let's do 27 different steps.
Yeah.
And make it this. How do you figure
Not
that out
only
1,000
that,
years ago?
But then they take
Magic.
the beans that were picked and they put them in this thing of water, and the ones that sink are the highest quality ones. So
Those were mine.
Those
I picked those.
They actually label those exotic, and they so what they do is they take the beans then and they put it out on a table, and they pay these people to just go there and they make little piles by hand, and then they're like, one espresso is 90 of these beans, and the guy's sitting there, and you're like,
How did he feed the world? How do you feed the world's coffee?
Feed the world. Everybody wakes up and has a cup of coffee.
Right.
Everybody, and it's dependent on these guys sitting there.
Folgers.
And right. So there's crap,
Right.
and then there's real coffee, and
this
is real
you know what
coffee.
you're doing. I know you know what you're doing.
Folgers.
Just about to say
Folgers is the best.
Sanka.
So the coolest thing, Sanka.
Chuck full of nuts. Those are the best.
You can light
That's
it up.
that's the
Off for 3
coffee.
days.
That's the coffee. You got to drop 3 sugars in there and a cream, and just to make it something like coffee flavored sugar milk.
Don't get upset.
By the way, this is like 1 3-hour tour that he said.
No,
Forget about all of the rest of Colombia. This
We
is the
healed
only
a million
thing.
people, but the coffee bean.
They're so special.
Right. I justify people with reverse all their problems, but these coffee beans are so great.
So then we line up the entire staff of the plantation, and we adjust them and take care of them, and that took 45 minutes, an hour, and then we sit down and they give us this home cooked meal. It was just incredible. The next day we did exactly the same thing.
Different spot.
A flower plantation where they just grow flowers for the world. They grow. In Colombia is perpetual springtime. It's between 70 and 80 degrees all year round, and it's either dry or wet season. There are no other seasons. So everything is growing all the time, and they produce flowers. And they produce some other stuff, right?
Any of those? Did you go to those?
Yeah, I want to know what's going over there, right?
That's where I want to
can
go.
see Steve, he's in that bed of coffee beans, and meanwhile everybody else is in the bed of cocaine.
Opium.
So they don't grow opium there, but they grow cocaine and they grow marijuana, and they, historically they never grew cocaine. That's fairly new. Like they used to grow it and process it in the jungles.
I'd like to go to a marijuana plant, see how that goes.
Yeah.
That'd be
You
interesting.
go there here. Could go that in
But now it's-
West Milford.
Yeah. Now
You don't have to
Newark.
go to Cardi.
people who are using that don't really care so much about regenerative farming and organic. They just want to
But imagine they did.
imagine they did.
Why don't we change that?
Yeah.
No,
Well,
that's our new
I
business
guess
thing.
there's some level of, hippie type that kind of wants everything to be organic
Yeah,
and
of
natural
course.
or whatever. But I don't think they're driving the market the way they are with coffee.
Right.
Anyway, so
That's cool.
90 beans at a time.
So that's the coffee region.
Where was that, by the way? You guys flew into where?
We flew I flew into Bogota, and then from Bogota I had to take a connecting flight to Pereira, which I'm looking on a map and I'm like, why do I have to take this crazy early flight to take a 30-minute flight to Pereira? And Pereira is only like, I don't know, 100 miles. Like, I'll rent a car. No.
Right.
You don't.
No, that route, you don't go that route.
Well, the reason is it's such a mountainous country that the roads are just, it's not like there's highways.
That was their concern, the condition of the roads?
Not getting
No.
hijacked.
Well, yeah, no, the condition of the road. No, it's now a safe, incredibly safe country.
Okay.
You have nothing to. Medellin 20 years ago was the most dangerous city on planet Earth. It is now one of the best places in the world to visit. So that country's been turned around. So again, I'm sure there's some kind of stuff still going on, but not to the extent that you would feel unsafe. The issue is it's such a mountainous country that getting from one city to another can take, just driving 200 miles can take you 9 hours.
Geeks.
And there's landslides,
Yeah,
and you could actually be driving, and they'll come up to you. The road will be stopped. They'll come up and say, "Get comfortable. We're not going anywhere for 8 hours." Like, that's how long it'll take to clear things up. And
Got it.
so anyway, there are people who grew up in certain regions, poor people who grew up in certain regions of Colombia that have never even been to another region. So they're very segregated because of the landscape. What's cool is that when we went to Medellin, again, it's a jungle country. They built this city and they brought the jungle in. So you're in your boutique hotel, you're in the restaurants, you're walking through the city, and the plant life is unreal. It's very outdoor, but it rains a lot, and everyone has the ability. As soon as it starts raining, the canopies come out and they cover it up, and you don't notice anything, and it's great. We had a spectacular time. So in the city, in the urban life, we went to a theater for children who are developmentally disabled, but learn how to sing, act, dance, and they put on a show for us. Mostly
Just for you guys? Or
Just
this is a
for
show
us.
that goes on and people come in?
Well, it's a show but they did it for us, and then
Yeah.
we took care of the whole staff. We took care of all the kids. Down syndrome was a big part of this, and to see them perform and sing and entertain, and the joy they experience, it's just shocking that children with Down syndrome are people. I remember when Maria got pregnant, they asked us if we wanted to do a genetic test in case you have Down syndrome. I'm like, all right, well, what does that tell us? Like, why do an invasive test in case you want to abort? And we're like, well, Maria and I looked at each other. We're like, well, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
If we have a child with Down syndrome, we're going to love them, take care of them, and I'm sorry.
I love it.
You want to cut that and post-prod? Toro's got a job to do.
But just to think, like, yes, it's a disability. Many of them are going to need care for the rest of their lives, and but the joy that they bring to other people.
But the joy that they
incredible.
genuinely have. Like, I know there's a comedian out there who talks about it, and they're like, oh, he goes, I have a cousin with Down syndrome. He goes, look at me, it nicked me, almost got me that time. That guy, he's very, very funny, because don't feel bad for them. They are the happiest people all the time. As like, just, if you had a segregated population, it's like, yeah, Down syndrome, they're very, very happy. And I don't know what the physiological reason for that is, but it's just very, very happy people, and it's just beautiful. And now you have them with getting talents and
oh my God,
being unbelievable. That's I like that.
It was great, and we got to enjoy ourselves. We went to a cigar bar, like a legit cigar bar, and had a great time smoking a cigar. Smoking cigars.
No wonder why he had such a great time.
No, they weren't. It wasn't a blunt.
It's all right. Tell you the truth, that tobacco there is probably as freaking potent as what it is over here. So, what is the diet like there? So you go into these middle days. Is it completely organic?
All
Are
right.
there pesticides? Like, come on.
So here's the beauty of our profession. Okay, people say, a mission trip for chiropractic care. Like, what is that? First of all, you guys know me. I look at metabolic health. I'm looking at blood work. I give people, supplements and diets and fitness routines and all. None of that, because you got 300 people lining up, and it's kind of old school chiropractic where you go to a place where people are using their body to make a living. We went to this one community of guys who dig sand out of a river to use at the coffee plantations, because when they take the plant and they make a new plant, they use sand first, and then they let the roots kind of come down before they plant it into real soil. So these guys make a living shoveling sand out of a river. So everybody's got the same exact left shoulder problem, the exact same thing, right? It's the same. And then you got people who are in motorcycle accidents and Vespa, accidents, and people came in with like literally indentations in their skull from head trauma. So I try to imagine our profession 120 years ago in the Midwest, in Iowa, where you had farmers who were just busting their ass, and chiropractic care was provided to them, and it was miraculous. And we all heard those stories. And when you go on a mission trip like this, you actually see that happen in front of your eyes. So I had this one lady who had come in the urban environment. So she was a city dweller. Her diet was freaking horrible. They're drinking juice all the time. It's just sugar, 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 sugar. And when you live in a city, in a country like that, the more American their lives are, the more affluent they feel.
Right.
But by American, I mean Coca-Cola and McDonald's
Right.
And all that crap. So she's obese. She's a metabolic mess. I'm looking at her, and we all as chiropractors can look at someone and say, well, I know what their x-rays are going to look like. Well, I know what their blood work is going to look like, right? So I can look and see that and just know that this is a metabolic mess in front of me. She was in so much pain. Fibromyalgia kind of thing. Anything you touch hurts. Yeah. Everything hurts. She couldn't get on the table. She's got 2 people walking her in. She gets on the table. She's obese. She can't turn. So I adjust her. And then I tell her to go sit down. I'm going to call her back. Hour and a half later, we're doing our thing. I call her back. Same thing. I mean, she's crying her eyes out getting adjusted. The second time she gets on the table, she's like, I can't go through this again. I'm like, just get on the table. Don't worry about it.
Get on the table.
Yeah. And then by the time she gets on the table again, I mean, she's flipping around like a pancake. She's fine.
Right.
Literally fine. And
are you guys just sitting there adjusting all day long? Are you doing any soft tissue, or you guys have
No.
300 people there, so you just got to go? Brrr.
you do what's in front of you and what
Yeah.
you feel is right. So Dr. Christian trained in certain soft tissue techniques we brought tables. Like we were prepared to do what we had to do, and we had enough doctors where, 2 of us are just boom, 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 and then some. If somebody's got to take time with someone,
few minutes,
then that's what you do. We had all the translation we needed. My Spanish was unreal. Like I practiced in Washington Heights for a long time, and I hadn't practiced for 5 years now, and my Spanish got rusty.
Yeah, you lose it.
Dude, it all came back. So we're at the bar in the airport with Sebastian, and we order a cocktail, and the bartender's talking to Sebastian. They're speaking Spanish, and the guy turns to me and he goes, "You speak Spanish?" And in Spanish I said, "If we're going to talk about your body, your spine, and your health, I can speak Spanish all day long." I said, "If we're going to have a conversation about life and your girlfriend and all that, I don't speak a word."
Right.
But so then the conversation went to the spine, because now it's a 3-way conversation. They didn't want to cut me out.
Right.
And we're talking about chiropractic and what we do. Next thing you know, and we're at the airport, at a bar at the airport. This big guy comes from around the bar, lays down on a bunch of chairs. Sebastian adjusts him. The guy's blown away.
That's so
and we had
funny.
just such a great time.
Very, very cool.
It was just introducing our profession. So the point that I was getting at with the lady, who I would love to have seen her blood test, I would have loved to coach her on improving her health and her life. What doctors in the world can go to a place where people need you, and if you have nothing but your hands, can help?
Right.
We're the only ones. We're the only. This is all we got.
That's our tool.
I'm here. I got nothing else.
Chiropractic, done
All
by
I have-
hand.
All I have is my hands, and every chiropractor should experience a mission trip for the purity of that experience, where the communication is not a long lay lecture on how your body. It's like your nervous system controls everything. It starts in your brain, makes its way down the nerves. There could be interference between your body and your nervous system. We're here to remove that interference. That's it. That's the only message, and we do so with our hands at the level of the spine. Everybody gets it, and we saw, and you always do, miracles happen right in front of your face. It's something we should do. It's just something that
I'm sold, except you left without us.
Right. You fucked
I
us.
was
You
running
said,
recon.
hey, are we going to go? We're
Sure.
like, yes, we're going to go.
I wanted
Great.
to make
When are we going?
sure.
Oh, I already went.
right. Oh, I can't go. Oh, guess where I'm going.
That was my one free weekend. What are you talking about? I had no-
Darren, we got two here.
I remember in chiropractic school, for whatever reason, I could not go, but they went to Peru. And then they went to Machu Picchu. Like, that's the idea, right? You go to this school.
That's
Let's
the
go to
next trip.
freaking Patagonia. Let's go to Argentina. Let's go down to Patagonia.
That's the
like,
next
go to
trip.
a remote place, and then you just go to someplace super cool, man. And I want to do that.
Our tour guide, Jose from Ecuador, went with them last year, and when he did it last year with them. That was his introduction to chiropractic. He never heard the word chiropractic before, I don't think. And we went on this trip, and this guy's been living the life that he learned from the year before. And he was just talking about it, and he was so excited. So now he's a professional tour guide for all of South America. So he's already got the route planned out for Peru for next year.
No, I'm not doing it. I already went to Peru. Pick something else.
Guatemala. We got
Perfect.
Guatemala.
Kelly went to Guatemala, and she went to a wonderful orphanage over there. She did the mission trip. Do you remember when she did that? She brought a neonatologist, an OBGYN. It was her, and they went, and Casa Guatemala was the place. Kelly talks about it all the time. Now, anywhere we travel, we went into Belize. We stopped at an orphanage. We treated we thought we were going to treat the children, but we treated the staff and everything like that. So
The first mission trip I went on 18 years ago was to Dominican Republic. I went with Dr. David Hecht from Long Island. His wife is an OBGYN, and she came, and she's a medical doctor, and she had nothing to offer. So by the time we got into the first day or two, she was adjusting. I mean, she was adjusting the page. Like, that was what, as an OBGYN, she started putting her hands on people and doing what we were doing, because she saw that was the best value that she could provide with her education.
amazing.
Isn't that cool?
I love it.
She was an OBGYN via being a DO, so she had some education,
Yeah.
you know.
That's true.
That was good.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Well, how the hell did we segue out of that? What the hell, man?
We could just go home.
Stole the thunder.
That's
Stole
it.
the thunder. No, we got business we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the what's this new clinic that you were investigating here?
It's too
That's probably not the right word. Investigating.
It's not under investigation.
Yeah.
It's a guy up in Sullivan County, right on the edge there, and he has two practices. He's had them he's 64 years old.
All right.
He's having some health stuff. So he's got an associate in there, but he wants to sell them, and the associate doesn't want to take on any more debt, which, So that was the company he has a company that's selling the practice for him. They reached out to me.
Got it. With like a Paragon or something like that.
Yeah, I forget what they are.
Doesn't
Cairo
matter.
Equity or
All
something,
right.
maybe.
So are we thinking that you have a doc in the box?
Yeah.
Is he a corrective care doc?
No, but
Okay. Can you train him?
Yeah, I mean, even if
He's
it's,
fairly new, right?
he's new, he's still eager. The doc says he's still reading and he wants to learn constantly, and so.
So these are our decompression clinics?
I mean, they can get 62 new patients a month on average. If we could just fine tune the message a little bit.
And
That's
they're
62
patient-
authentic, genuine. That's not even throwing any type of marketing in there, right?
Nothing.
How are your people doing? Are we?
I just switched to a new one. They didn't do good.
Wah, wah,
Yeah.
wah, wah, wah.
They were terrible.
So
Yeah, they were horrible.
But 62 again, right then and there. What did you say? What did we say? We
Even if you cut it in half.
we were like 5 new ones a week. That's ridiculous.
No, they're doing.
No. What did we say was
all you need is five
new ones a week.
I mean that's
they
$1 million practice.
Between the two, they do 200 visits a week.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Between the two practices.
clinics,
So the
yeah.
guy, and they're fairly close. One has a decompression table from 1902 in it that my mom rides on. She says it's squeaky and scary. They're small. They're in one. I've only seen one. It's in a house. They're not ideal. They're your typical, 40-year-old chiropractic office. You go in some stairs. It's a house that was converted.
Wood
There's holes
paneling, shag
everywhere.
carpet.
Yeah,
I know. I got
gross.
you. Yeah.
Go in there. I don't know.
Yeah, you could do that for 15 grand. You're already making that thing modern if you needed to stay there.
I'm checking the overhead. The doc said the overhead runs about 2/3.
So if 60 new people a month are showing up there, it's either because they're doing some kind of crazy marketing, which they're not.
They're not.
Or there's just nothing else available
Nothing else
in the
available.
area.
Is that's it.
And if you were to take that and modernize it, the word's going to spread real fast that, we've cleaned this place up and it's...
Well, yes and no, right? So I learned this going to, like, for example, St. Louis, after leaving Atlanta. There's no diners in St. Louis, right? There's no good delis in St. Louis.
So
and we're like, why? There's a lot of New Yorkers coming out over here. Why doesn't somebody open up a good deli? They tried. People here don't want that.
Right.
They don't want that. So my concern always is you go into a place, they like the old school, you make it modern. Maybe they'll be like, this is not
I think
what
we
like.
just modernize it a bit.
Clean it. Yeah.
Modernize it a bit. Maybe
Well,
Put an
the
LED
equipment.
light bulb in there or
If
something like that.
they're already doing decompression, you just bring in a
bring in
legit
equipment. I would also
modern
like to create, depending on the layouts.
Everybody wants cleanliness. Everybody wants...
Truth.
Nobody wants paneling
I mean,
and a
I'm
shag
sure
carpet.
I don't remember the flooring and all that stuff, but I do remember it was all broken up into little rooms. They had full of tons of stuff, just from 100 years old of stuff, even if it got to, you don't want to turn the new patients away, but if we teach this doctor how to do, the right thing, and you double the retention on these people, then we double the case volume.
You cut the new patients in half, and you still got $1 million practice.
If that happens, but you're probably not going to happen. You're going to probably double it if you're doing what we say we can do.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. So, yes.
It's up to you guys. It's up to you guys.
So how do the clinics run? You got 2 clinics, 1 doc.
It's the old man.
The old man is retiring.
Yeah, he's retiring.
So
So
we
it
have-
would be
And
one
he's
guy.
not going to change into a...
No, he doesn't want
Chris DiCarlo.
No, he doesn't
trained,
want to. He doesn't want to.
No, you're buying
But
him
the
out
young
of the
guy,
practice.
the young guy might be willing.
He's going to give us 6
Well,
months of transition, and then
we
he
would. Yeah, we would. We don't even really need 6 months of transition. He probably would, but because this guy's
Just for the
been there
volume.
for
Yeah.
to doing it, and I feel like if we could tweak a couple little things and see the layouts and maybe open up some of the space so it's more like
You went up to
ours.
go see it?
I've been to one of them.
Let's
'cause
go
my
up.
Mom
Let's
goes
go up
there.
next week.
Yeah, we can take a look.
What percentage of the patients are being taken care of by the 64-year-old guy?
I would probably say hardly any because
Okay.
That's important. Because
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
that's
not a
huge.
personality-driven
No,
practice.
no, because my mother actually sees the new guy.
Okay.
And
When you
she
say the
used-
new guy, how old is this guy?
I don't know.
Young 20s?
I don't know. I didn't get that far.
Got it.
Right. So I don't know. So they're asking versus
I'm sure there's some negotiation.
Yeah,
to
of
be
course.
made. I mean, come on.
Yeah, of course. I don't know money wise, but how much is there for?
You're taking very little risk from what I'm seeing.
Yeah,
But the 3 of us?
I think it's
The main factor is the doc that we have working there
Is willing to
to be accountable, to be trainable, to be coachable,
Right.
to be
staff. What are we looking at? The staff?
I don't know. I didn't get that far. He just sent me the stuff that minute. I screenshotted it and put it there. You guys.
I think this is something that's worth to take a look. How far is it from here?
One
to Sullivan right now?
is
To
one is an hour, and then the other one's an hour and 20.
Got it.
Right, I've never been to the hour and 20 one. I've only been to the hour one because that's the one my mom goes to. One's in Monticello,
Yep.
and one's not. One's in Liberty.
Liberty.
Yeah, Liberty.
That's where you get tickets, my friend. That's where you get tickets.
Right.
4 years going to Binghamton. Oh
he
my
was
God.
actually going to open another one, but then he got sick. So anything's possible. But I when I saw the 62 patients and the $850 case average, it says about 59% insurance. People up there probably don't have a ton of money.
No.
So
What percent insurance?
59% insurance. So I don't know if we'd have to sit down and have the actual, what kind of copays are actually happening, like what's
real, what's
How many of
negotiated.
those office visits coming in per week are just paying their copay? Like that, we know that's a problem in our profession.
Yeah, they get 12 visits a year and they're on visit 50. So you're getting a $30 copay and that's about it.
$30
But
copay up there would be pretty
their
good. It's a tough area.
their dollar visit average seems to be above 60.
It was 62.
Yes,
which is pretty good.
62.
Okay, so
So their PVA is what's terrible. The number of times a new patient comes in is
like
around
under 10.
13.
No, it's probably under
was-
10.
No, they're doing a lot better than you are.
Right. They're like
Oh, yeah?
30% better
Nah,
than you.
not me. Not me. I am doing very well. The rest of my damn team is.
I think
you
it
gotta work
was,
on.
what did they say? The retention was like 13 visits.
Yeah.
At a $62 case was $840 per case. It just looks like there's a real good opportunity for that.
Yeah.
I mean, when I saw those new patients, I was like, holy shit.
I mean, you're talking about. We just talked about it. These are probably blue collar people
Yeah, oh,
who
yeah,
are
it's
who
very,
it
very,
is.
very,
So
very, very,
Yeah.
very poor.
yes.
There. So
Yeah.
and that's my people. I like that. Best.
So-
Like,
so,
I don't like not like you, like rich snobby people.
The guy who I apologized to down in Southwest Virginia, my buddy Chris. So he's been there forever, and he averages. He has a lot of weeks where he has no new patients. His town has a population of 5,000 people. His weekly visit averages, depending on the week, because there are wellness weeks and there are active care weeks, so it's between 350 and 400 and change. But he's doing that on between 5 and 10 new patients a month.
Yeah.
His PVA is over 100,
Yeah.
right? So he's legit, and it's all self-pay. When I met Chris, the average salary in his entire region, not just the town, the entire region was $27,000 a year. So it's coal mining country. It's yet people were, signing up for care plans that were multiple months long, if not a year long. It's education because
This is what
they're
Kelly's
gonna
brother
save-
does. Same
right.
thing.
Right, because if you're gonna pay $850 for a case, and all you did was reduce pain a little bit, and you're degenerating as time goes on, and maybe 2 years later they come back and spend another $800.
Right.
What are you doing? You're just knocking pain down.
Right.
But if you go through corrective care and they spend more on the front end, and their life is so much better
Yeah.
on the back end,
I just want to check
that's the
on
challenge.
space and make sure we can drop probably need
real
just
decompression table.
one real decompression table in there, and
Yeah.
then one Deneroll table that you lay on. Like, we don't need a ton of stuff to
Right.
make this, make people healthy.
Right.
It's very easy. Denerolls and a bench and
give them a good payment plan.
plans. Yeah.
But to pay.
No, care credit, I'm
Care
sure, could be
credit.
very effective
Yeah.
up
Yeah,
there.
I used tons of care credit
Yeah.
for me. Tons.
Absolutely. All right, so we're going up there next week.
And I think if there's any room to, open up, take one wall down so that he's not bouncing from room to room, we
Right.
can double, add 25% of the volume without creating any problems because it would be clustered like you do. Like just people.
Yeah,
open,
the
like I
the
do.
open the open concept is also going to allow people to hear
Yeah,
Talk
it's
about other
educational.
conditions.
and
Phenomenal.
answering the same questions over and
Yeah.
over and over. One on
And
one
then
is
you could do,
ridiculous.
10 people in an hour instead of 5 people or 3 people because you got to go from room to room to room.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like we do 20 people in a 30-minute blocks like that. So I think that would be something we could look at. I mean, again, I don't know what the Liberty one looks like. That might be super scary, but and I think I don't know the spread. They do 3 days on one, 3 days at the other.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm assuming with one doc, obviously, if it's like 80-20 right now,
Yeah.
or even
I would
a
assume
bigger.
one practice is just probably very low volume, and the other one is
Yeah,
the-
probably. I think the Monticello one is because it's in a very busy area.
Yeah.
How far away are they from each other?
I think 20 minutes.
Yeah, so you might want to just consolidate it into one practice.
You wouldn't. He had one, and he moved out of the area, and he said it added like 8 or 9 minutes, and people just
were
wouldn't.
like, "Really?"
Because it's like going. It would be like 20 minutes is like from choosing to come from here or going to Woodbury Commons.
Yeah.
That's a hell of a ride.
That's a trip.
Yeah, and Woodbury Commons is exactly 20 minutes from here, so that's
Yeah.
And all the tickets on the throughway and all
yeah,
that.
yeah, right. And people's cars.
In a Subaru.
People are driving
Jalopies.
jalopy
Yeah.
and rust buckets, and so
They need us.
they do.
Yeah.
And I think
They need us.
it's something
It's
cool
either
to look
there
at.
or Cartagena. I mean, it's.
But if you guys let me know. You guys can
Let's go up next week.
send me some questions. We can ask them, and I'll get them back to you, and then we can shoot up there and look.
I want to look first.
Yeah, and then we can whatever. If you guys don't want to do it, I'll do it.
No, I'm
No,
interested.
I want to.
I want to try this decompression thing, but I
think it would be a chiropractic.
I
I think to me these are chiropractic offices with decompression versus maybe Middletown would be a decompression office with chiropractic.
Got it.
Middletown I think would be a Goldmine for decompression with chiropractic. These are 40, 50-year-old established offices that have decompression.
Right.
Yeah.
Kind of has. I don't even think he uses it really. Probably hasn't been like tuned up.
So a radiology center nearby.
He has X-ray in there.
Is there MRIs nearby?
I don't know. I don't care about that shit.
For decompression? Even if you went to Middletown, you wouldn't want MRIs for decompression?
Middletown has got a serious medical community. there.
That's a
No,
good
they have
giant
what's
facility,
the system in Middleton? We're from Middletown.
Yeah.
Crystal something run?
but
Is that what?
I don't
Crystal
remember.
meth?
It
What
wasn't
is it?
there. Crystal meth clinic. It wasn't there when I was there.
All right.
But
No, there's
I
a
don't-
huge
I don't use-
medical. Yeah, I mean, they
don't-
come down to even like Warwick area. I think. What the hell is it?
I don't know. If I could
They're
tell
up
you how
there.
many MRIs I've ordered, it would be this.
Really?
Probably this many. It doesn't change anything.
Oh, it doesn't. No, but
so-
you got.
Yeah,
It's
but
medical
they're-
decision-making
no.
abilities.
But when it comes
No.
to decompression, there are issues associated with annular tears that you may not want to put them on decompression. Is that
I put
is that
annular
correct?
tears on decompression, and
How do you modify it?
if it hurts when I pull you,
You're
just,
done.
I just change the position.
Got it.
Because that means the tear is superior
Active.
tear.
Got it.
Well, depending on what part of the tear, because someone can have an inferior disc tear and you can decompress it and they will get 100% better instantly on that pull, right? Like almost right away. But if the tear is at the top and you're pulling, it'll draw the bone onto the tear and to irritate that nerve. So like I have a guy now who has 4 herniated discs and 2 annular tears from an MRI in Ecuador. And it didn't. All it said was that.
Right.
Like
That's all you got. You didn't know where the
you're
position-
fucked.
Yeah.
He's like,
Yeah.
I think I'm fucked.
But
right?
even when you see most of the annular tears are right in the middle. My annular tear, you can see it's amazing. Like mine can be in a textbook, right? So I have the herniated disc at L5S1, and the bubble is right in the middle of that herniation. So it's a huge annular tear right in the
Depends
middle.
on where they're located, and then you can put people on their back or on their side, or I've never
with
done-
your tables.
Yeah.
Can't do that with DRX.
Yeah, you can.
You can.
I've only
Oh, I
done it
thought
one
DRX
time ever in my
was
whole
too
life.
high, but-
if they like this guy I pull, he was there last night when you were there, and you pull on him, and his leg goes numb during it because it's compressing on it, and I'm like sorry, and
You let it. You still continue it.
as long as when he comes out, 2 minutes later, it's okay.
Right.
Right. So I'm saying the first time you might lose feeling in your leg for a couple days. Let's see how it goes. And he goes, pulls, it goes numb, comes out, goes away, feels better, was able to work. Then I put him in lumbar traction, and we start to realign after, so yes, you can bring an MRI. I don't order MRIs for decompression because I assume based off of the testing. And then from there, if it's not improving after, 3 weeks, I'll order an MRI but like I said, most of them get better.
We were down in the convention this weekend for continuing and stuff like that.
In
ANJC,
Jersey.
yeah.
Yeah.
Went down over there, and so, man, I'm an SI guy. I always think that a lot of conditions are SI, and I've got a lot of success treating SI. And research is saying it's not SI.
It's not SI.
It's not SI.
It's not. SI joint doesn't even move.
We always knew it didn't move, but there could still be SI joint dysfunction and the whole mechanoproprioceptive
I love
issue.
adjusting the SI joint. Even though people say it doesn't move, I don't believe that.
So one of the best,
But the science says it does it.
soft tissue fascia chiropractors that I know, who's also a neuro guy, and
Thanks, man.
Mark Lindsay.
Oh, sorry.
Guy.
Mark
Hey-o.
Lindsay is a chiropractor from Ottawa, Canada, who his entire book of business has been the best athletes on the planet, right? So Dr. Carrick was made famous because of what he did with
Sid
Crosby. Crosby. Well, it was Mark Lindsay that brought Sid Crosby to Ted Carrick. So Mark was doing work for the New York Mets, and they had like 15 years ago they had this. I can't remember his name. He was lightning fast, like just a natural sprinter, the fastest guy in Major League Baseball. And he was hurt. They send a plane to pick up Lindsay from Canada. They bring him to at the time Shea Stadium. He's sitting in a boardroom. They got the orthopedic surgeon from Hospital for Special Surgery talking about what they're doing with him. They're going to shave down. They're going to do an operation, shave his femoral head. It's going to give him more flexibility. And Mark is sitting there and he's making faces. He's like, because the guy's on a conference call, but the owner of the Mets and the entire team is in the conference room. So the owner of the Mets hits mute and says, What's wrong? What are you thinking? Like, he looks at Lindsay. He goes, why are you making faces? He goes, he's completely wrong. He's like, the SI joint moves. His is not moving. Give me 2 weeks with this guy.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, he's off the DL. He's breaking records.
Yeah.
No surgery. The SI joint moves.
Right.
It moves, but it's
But
not.
when we're talking about us,
Right.
you're talking about an elite athlete,
Right.
it's one thing. But you got to take the elite function of an athlete and translate it somehow into
To everybody.
Yeah.
But no, come on.
I mean, there's no. I can't wrap my mind around that it doesn't move because I've seen that it's there's some coefficient to it, and the surface of it is not designed to move. It's like a friction.
on
I don't
MRI,
understand
it shows zero movement, right?
Right.
Like 0.000, like just insignificant movement and stuff like that.
But
But it mutates and counter mutates. We know that. Like there is, let's call it mechanoreceptor, or the ability for whatever
are.
subtle minimal movement that it does allows the body to function right.
Yeah.
Right? And without that, it doesn't function right. So there's definitely an SI joint component, but the pain is what I was talking about.
Pain.
They're saying the pain is probably not coming from the SI.
The pain in
But-
the SI joint is real.
But it is.
People-
I have that, right?
Yes, sir.
So I remember the first time it was like my back blew out. I knew I had to herniate a disc. I went down to Eric's place. He had, I don't know, it wasn't a Triton. It was probably a Saunders or something like that. Couldn't get off the table. I was done. I was done. After a
After pulled
6-minute
it.
treatment.
Yeah,
after
yeah,
pulling.
because it compressed the SI joint.
That was the SI joint,
Yeah.
without doubt.
You
So
can't
I
put
know.
someone in a table with SI joints.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So that I know for a fact, but I mean, hearing what they were saying, they're like, "How many people think what is the incidence of SI joint?" And I'm like, 80%. 80%. I'm like an idiot. 80%. There were 700 people, and I'm like 80%. They're like, yeah, less than 2%.
Yeah.
Less than 2%.
Well, it's like anything else. When you learn a whole lot about some aspect of health, and then all of a sudden, the next 20 patients you see, they all have it.
Right.
Everybody's
got it. No, yeah, I don't understand the SI joint is such a, but listen, I don't know. People come in, they're like, I got that pain right here, and you put them on their side, and it releases, and they're done better instantaneously.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know.
But I have my disc patients that have SI. They're not getting better on the decompression, right? So that SI has to be treated first. It really has to be treated first. So I don't even put them on decompression for the
Well,
first couple weeks.
then you ask the question: is it the SI or is it the hip?
It's the hip. It's an anatomical short leg, and
Right.
64% of the population with the SI joint dysfunction has.
Right.
That's
So
an anatomical
so the
short
pain
leg.
location and the dysfunction.
Don't chase the pain.
Right.
Right.
Don't chase the pain.
Take
That's
an
what I'm
X-ray
saying.
of the lumbar spine. You look for a pelvic unleveling, or what the medical profession will call a scoliosis when it's not, and then you take a Ferguson.
Are you
view.
saying a functional scoliosis is not a scoliosis?
I'm saying the majority of things that come through your office that are scoliosis are not scoliosis in the lumbar spine. I would say 80%.
By the
of
way, in Colombia, the people who did have access to doctors in the urban environment, virtually every one of them that had spinal pain said, if you ask them, all right, do you have any concerns? I have scoliosis.
Right.
None of them had scoliosis.
Right, of
It
course.
seems like every doctor in Colombia is trained to say, you got back pain, you got scoliosis.
Probably the tube tilt was off. Or probably hasn't been calibrated in 45 years. So.
Wow. Tube tilt.
Right? Hey, listen.
Dude, I have a Schroth specialist in here. I just realized how I can get him busy.
Right.
Tube tilt.
Right.
I'm like, you got scoliosis. Gotta go see my
Let
Schroth
me tell
guy.
you something. If you take the central ray
Yeah.
and you put someone in front of it.
Yeah.
And then you have them step 1 inch to the left or right, that person's going to have a scoliosis on the X-ray.
Why would that be a scoliosis as opposed to just a magnification?
It's not a magnification because look, when you step to the side, the X-ray projection is going to now
Go
be
around?
It's going to look like
it's
a
going to go
scoliosis.
straight.
It's
Really?
not. No.
I'm willing to test that.
I will do it to you right this second.
I just can't do it right this second because I got to go down to South Carolina.
Or how about this? And this is the even better one. Ready? This happens all the time, and I don't understand what chiropractors come in central ray, right? Let's pretend this is straight, and someone comes in and they have a pelvic rotation.
Yeah.
And you take the X-ray.
You're going to
What's
see
their
Scotty
lumbar
Dog. It's going to be oblique. Why
What
would it
does
be
their
curved?
lumbar spine look like?
Oblique.
Scoliosis.
I feel like it would
Well,
just
the
be-
reason for that is
100%.
coupled
Really?
because of coupled motion. You
coupled
can't have
patterns.
rotation without lateral bending.
You can't have this is X-ray projection.
Right.
So if you
Right,
if you step 1 foot back and take an X-ray, you're going to have a lumbar scoliosis like this.
Yeah.
That's why you have to take rotation out of every pelvis that you take to make sure that you're truly, your scoliosis patients who aren't getting better was a hip rotation, not
Got
a
it.
scoliosis.
Right.
Did this?
What do? You strap them to the X-ray
No,
machine?
you just
straighten
out
straighten
their
out.
Oh,
feet.
you just
don't straighten out
active.
their feet. You straighten out their pelvis.
No, pelvis.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So you just have them straighten their pelvis, and you just take the X-ray, and then that's how you're going to get a true projection. Because this is going to be a scoliosis.
But then you're going to change the anatomical short leg. If you're manipulating the pelvis, you're not going to get a true idea if there is an anatomical short.
You're not going to change.
Well,
the
we
leg
used to
length.
we used to take a film, put a heel lift right then and there,
Yeah,
and then
stress
retake
X-ray.
it.
That's
Yeah.
what we call them, stress films.
Yeah.
We do those all the
Is
time.
that how you take the stress X-rays, or you stress them in a mirror image as well?
No, when you take your A to P, you'll then look for the X-ray projection of an anatomical short leg. That will then trigger you to take the Ferguson view. The Ferguson view will give you the exact length, minus 25% for X-ray distortion, of how much the heel lift is. You take that heel lift, you put it in, then you take the A to P and the A to Ferguson again, and it'll just be balanced.
It should be perfect.
And everybody's spine will straighten out, and they will literally. I tell you, I do these like 10 of these a week. Someone will come in like this. My doctor said I have scoliosis. We take the X-ray, we put the heel lift in over here, perfectly straight. I'm like, what happened?
You have scoliosis?
I don't have scoliosis anymore.
The heel lift side goes on the convex side all the
It
time,
goes on the side of the short.
which is typically the convex side of the scoliosis.
This side.
That's the Dr. Chris DiCarlo.
No words.
Doctor.
No words. I don't know
Just
words.
this side. Hey, yo, he's on this side.
I removed the vertebral subluxation and balance out the spine for long-term health benefits. I don't know about sides.
You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. That's what he does.
I don't know.
All right, I love you all. I got to go, but
where are you going?
South Carolina. Going to the in-laws and Kelly's brother.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
Awesome.
All right. And Chris has to go to the bathroom. That was it. But we are all way smarter. This segment was brought to you by the Way Smarter wing. Smart ring over here. We're going to go ahead and do that. But are we on for next week?